you are probably a lot closer to getting that interview than you think. And I mean that. There are roles you've applied to where your resume didn't actually get rejected, and it got looked at, it got considered. You might have even been on a short list, and then someone else got picked. Not because they were dramatically better, not because you were qualified, but because in that moment, they were easier to choose. That's the part most never see. Because once your resume gets in front of a recruiter, you're not trying to get noticed anymore. You're trying to get selected. And that decision, it happens fast. It feels invisible. And there's actually a pattern behind it. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how that decision gets made, so you understand why some candidates move forward almost instantly and others quietly fall off. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. On this channel, I break down how hiring actually works, so you can move through the process with more clarity, confidence, and control. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Chuks Agada. Most people know me as Dr. A. I'm an executive career coach and executive recruiter. I've worked inside organizations like GE, LinkedIn, and HSBC, and I've been on the side of the table where decisions are made. Who moves forward, who gets presented, and who doesn't. And here's what I can tell you. Most candidates are not being filtered out because they're unqualified. They're being filtered out because they don't make the decision easy. That's really what this comes down to, because recruiters are not just evaluating you, they're managing risk. Most people think a recruiter's job is to find the best candidate. That sounds right, but it's not exactly how it works. A recruiter's real job is to present candidates that the business will say yes to, because every person they put forward is a reflection of their judgment. If they send someone who's off, that creates friction. If they send someone who misses the mark, that impacts trust. So what do? They filter, and they filter hard, not just for capability, but for certainty. They're looking for people they feel confident standing behind. Now, let me show you what actually happens when a recruiter opens your resume. They are not reading it top to bottom. You're getting maybe 6 to 8 to about 10 seconds. That's it. And in that window, they're asking themselves 3 things. Is this relevant? Is this clear? And do I feel confident about this person? That's the filter. If your resume feels aligned with the role, easy to understand, and low risk, you move forward. If not, you don't. And it's not because you couldn't do the job, it's because you required too much effort to figure out. And when there are dozens of candidates, no one is slowing down to interpret. This is where most people get it wrong. They focus on proving they're capable, but that's not the goal. Your goal is not to say, I can do the job. Your goal is to communicate, you don't have to worry about me. Because internally, the recruiter is thinking, will my hiring manager like this person? Will they perform? Will this be a smooth process or a problem? And the easier you make those answers, the faster you move forward. Now, not all recruiters operate the same way. You've got what we call agency recruiters, and you've got in-house recruiters. Agency recruiters are driven by placements. They're thinking, can I place this person quickly and successfully? Because that's how they get paid. In-house recruiters, on the other hand, are thinking differently. They're accountable to stakeholders they work with every day. So their mindset is, will this person hold up in front of my hiring manager? Will they succeed once they're hired? But here's what's important. Even though their motivations are different, their behavior overlaps. They both want candidates that feel like a safe, strong decision. If you don't clearly feel like that, you don't move forward. Quick question for you. When you've applied to roles in the past, do you feel like 1, you're getting filtered out early, or 2, you're getting seen but not selected? Drop a 1 or 2 in the comments. I read every single one, and it helps me shape these videos around what you're experiencing. And if you're finding value in this video, tap the like button. It will reach other professionals who could benefit from this type of content. So here's something most people don't realize. Even after your resume gets seen, You're still being compared, not in a formal system, but in the recruiter's mind. They're constantly thinking, is this stronger than the last person I saw? Would I present this one first or second? So even if you're qualified, if someone else is clearer, more aligned, or easier to explain, they get picked. That's the reality. There's often a small margin of error. Being qualified gets you in the conversation. Being obvious moves you forward. So let's make this practical. Here's why strong candidates still get passed over. They look too broad. They don't clearly match the role. Their experience feels disconnected. Their value is buried in paragraphs, or they just take too long to understand. And again, recruiters don't interpret, they select. Now, at the end of the day, the decision usually comes down to one question. Would I feel comfortable putting my name behind this person? That's it. Because internally, that's exactly what they're doing. And if there's hesitation, they move on. So what does this mean for you? It means you have to shift how you position yourself. Stop trying to tell your whole story. Stop trying to list everything you've done, and stop trying to prove you're capable. Instead, focus on alignment, focus on clarity, and focus on confidence. Because the candidates who move forward aren't always the most experienced. They're the easiest to understand, the easiest to explain, and the easiest to say yes to. If this was helpful and you want to go deeper, I've included a few resources in the links below that includes our website, newsletter, and additional job search materials to help you approach this process more strategically. And if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch this video next, why your resume gets rejected before a human sees it, because that's what happens before this stage. This is what happens after. And once you understand both, you'll start seeing the hiring process very differently. And finally, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and comment below. See you next time. Over and out.